What is up, guys? Welcome back to the podcast. And today, let's try this again. Am I right? Yes, I am right. We're gonna try this again. Hopefully, this isn't probably is. Probably is. Honestly, it's still lacking this time. It's because my microphone was turned down. Oh my! I'm turning it down a little bit. There it goes. Okay. I didn't know my mic was turned down. Okay, we're gonna review the games, yesterday's NHL games, not goal by goal, but we're gonna do review. And then we're gonna go into my NHL playoff predictions. Actually, we're gonna go over the NHL standings, my standing predictions, and my wild card predictions for what I think is gonna be by the end of the season. Not my final ones, but yeah, what I think right now. And then we're gonna go in the playoffs from there. So Sabres take down the Devils 4-3 at home. Devils continue to struggle, man. I don't know what's going on with them. Avalanche take down the Flyers 2-0 at home. They outplay them. They get 32 shots on a very defensive team. And a team like the Philadelphia Flyers, back-to-back shutouts from Mackenzie Blackwood. This time it's a 24-save shutout. So yeah, Ducks take down the Canadiens 3-2 at home. Now teams are more like expecting the Canadiens to be good compared to sleeping on them. Panthers take down the Islanders 6-3. They gave them a little bit of hope. They shut it down immediately. The Sergei Bobrovsky and the Panthers are heating up, and it's kind of dangerous. It's actually kind of scary. The Rangers take down the Knights 4-2 at home. Knights outplayed them for most of the game, but the Rangers get their 2 points at home. Dallas Stars take down the Blue Jackets, also at home, 5-3. The Blues take down the Hockey Club in a low-scoring matchup, 2-1 on the road. Red Wings take down the Canucks 3-2. Also on the road, Philip Hedl scores his first goal as a Canuck in that loss, and then the Flames take down the Kraken 3-2 to overtake the Canucks for that second wildcard spot out of the West as of right now. So let's go over to the standings. I'm going to make my quick standing predictions, and then we're going to go straight into the NHL playoff predictions. I do want to mention that Ryan Hartman of the Minnesota Wild got suspended 10 games, but he smashed Tim Stützle's head into the ground on a faceoff. He's a repeat offender. I think they should have made an example out of him. That's exactly what they did. Good on the NHL Department of Player Safety. Good on them. So for my link, you can see the top 3 in the Atlantic right now. So my prediction is going to be, it's either going to be the Panthers or the Leafs. I mean, it's really tough. I could easily see either one of these teams winning the Atlantic, but I'm sticking with the Leafs to end up winning the Atlantic because Solar should be coming back pretty soon. That's going to help. 2 is going to be the Panthers. 3, I think, is going to be the Tampa Bay Lightning. In the Metro, 1's probably going to be Washington, 2's going to be Carolina, 3 is going to be New Jersey, exactly how it is right now. And then my 2 wildcard teams, number 1, Ottawa Senators, number 2, New York Rangers. There's that. Good on the West, the Central Division ranking, in my opinion, 1's going to be Winnipeg, 2's going to be Colorado. That's a bit of a hot take from them going all the way up that high. And then 3 is going to be Dallas Stars. In the Pacific, number 1's going to be Edmonton, number 2 is going to be Vegas, 3 is going to be LA. Wildcard teams, number 1's going to be Minnesota, number 2 is going to be the Vancouver Canucks. The Vancouver Canucks taking it over the Flames. I just think the more established team, I trust them to win games down the stretch more than I trust. No disrespect to the Flames. That's just how I think it's gonna go. Let's go over to the NHL playoff prediction. Here's the first round. Here it is. That's what it's set up right now. The playoff brackets. The Atlantic Division winner and the Maple Leafs taking on the Wild Card 1, the Ottawa Senators. The Battle of Ontario in the first round. That's gonna be a fascinating series. Battle of Florida Panthers versus the Tampa Bay Lightning. And then it's the Washington Capitals, the President Trophy winners, in my opinion, taking on the New York Rangers, second wild card. Literally last year's matchup, but the roles have reversed. Metropolitan 2. Carolina Hurricanes versus the Metropolitan 3 New Jersey Devils. In the Western Conference, we got the Central Division winner, Western Conference winner, Winnipeg Jets. Taking on the second wildcard team, Vancouver Canucks, have been struggling all season, squeaking into the playoffs. They're going to play a tough matchup in the Canadian rival in the winner. The second in the Central Colorado Avalanche, taking on the third Central Dallas Stars. The Pacific Division winner in the Edmonton Oilers taking on the wild card number 1 Minnesota Wild. Wild, one of if not the best road teams in the entire NHL. Edmonton's, hopefully they don't sleep on the Wild. Pacific number 2, take Vegas Golden Knights taking on the Pacific number 3, Los Angeles. Let's get straight into it. We are going to go back and forth. We're going to start the East, and then we're going to, for the second round, we're going to start the West, and then the conference finals will start the East again, and then the Stanley Cup finals start the West. Go back and forth. Starting with the Eastern, the Atlantic Division number 1, Toronto Maple Leafs taking on the Wild Card 1 Battle of Ontario, Ottawa Senators. There's so many storylines heading in the series. First of all, obviously, the most obvious, this is the Battle of Ontario. You never know what can happen in these type of matchups. The Leafs, they have to win the series. If they don't win the series, they're getting ridiculed, bro. Everything they've done this season is gone. It's down the gutter. They have to do something in the playoffs. They have done nothing in the playoffs for the past, at least a decade. It's been terrible. But come playoff time for the Leafs, they need to do something. If you look at the Senators, they're expected by a lot of people to miss the playoffs. But they're really, really cooking right now. Carolina's been great. Obviously, Linus Ullmark's been a top 10 goalie in the league this season. He's been acting like it for sure. He's been phenomenal. Carolina's been great. 2 great goaltenders. Defense has been great. Special teams have been great. Offense has been great. They have good depth. They have it all. They can make some noise in the playoffs. Don't sleep in the Senators. Every time home ice advantage is going to be tough for the Leafs and the Senators both. It's going to be a tough series. I think what it's going to come down to is if the Toronto Maple Leafs superstars are going to be able to separate themselves from people like Tim Stützle and Brady Tkachuk. If they're unable to do good like they have been in the past couple seasons, it's going to be a long series for the Leafs, and the Senators will take down them because Linus Ullmark in the defense is so dang good. But if you look at if they do show up like producers like Matthews, Marner, producers like what Marner can, Tavares, Nylander, all those guys produce. It's going to be a long series for Ottawa because there's only so much Linus Ullmark can do if those guys all show up and their depth shows up. The Maple Leaf depth is definitely a concern. But I'm going to take the Leafs and take down the Senators here in 6 games. I think the Leafs are just a better, more consistent offense. And I think it's going to get it done when it matters most. They're going to go to the second round for the first time in 2 decades? I'm kidding. I'd be kidding. Actually. So yeah, that's going to happen. They're going to play the winner of the Florida Panthers versus Tampa Bay Lightning. Florida Panthers are heating up. They're looking dangerous. The Panthers have one of the best offenses in the league. The Lightning have one of the best goaltenders and defenses in the league. It's going to be a battle of offense and defense. Florida Panthers have the top 5, I think, most hits in the NHL, and the Lightning have the second least amount of hits in the entire NHL. I think they both have a lot of experience, but I think I'm going to take the Panthers this series in 7 games just because of how much more physical they are than the Lightning. I think it's going to get it done when it matters most, but don't be surprised if the Lightning win this series. They're going to be dark horses out of the East for sure. If you look at the Metropolitan 1 Washington Capitals versus Wildcard 2 New York Rangers, exact same first round series as last season, but the roles are reversed. The Capitals, this time of the President Trophy winners, and the Rangers are the teams that are squeaking in the playoffs. Washington Capitals have one of the best offenses in the entire NHL this season, one of the best defenses and goaltenders in the entire NHL this season. If you look at the Rangers, they've had 10-game point streaks. They have 15-game losing streak, not 15-game losing streak, but 15-game bad skid. They've been up and down. So they can get hot coming in the playoffs, and Shesterkin can do what we know he can do come playoff time. The Rangers might pull up an upset here. But I think the Capitals are far more consistent than the Rangers, and I'm going to give the Capitals the edge here in a solid 6 games. I think the Capitals are a straight-up better team than the Rangers. I'm higher than the Capitals than most. We'll get to that in a minute. Metropolitan 2, Carolina Hurricanes versus Metropolitan Division 3, New Jersey Devils. This is a fascinating series. Hurricanes really needed Mikko Rantanen, and they got a player like him. They got him. The Hurricanes need this more than the Devils. The Hurricanes been here, done that. They need to do something. They need to get past the hump. They need to get over that hump. Compared to the Devils, who are just getting back in the playoffs, you're we have a long window. We can make the playoffs and be contenders for the next few years. Because the Devils, you're the Hurricanes. We have to do something. We gotta go. We gotta do something. The expectations are on different levels here. And I think with the pressure that's building on the Hurricanes, the Devils, like, not necessarily underdogs. The Hurricanes are definitely, you probably would think on paper they might win because you never know, but Jacob Markstrom's going to be 100% healthy come playoff time. And if he is 100% healthy, quote unquote, if he's actually going to be 100% healthy, like if he's actually going to be fully ready and have any, like, other problems. But I'm going to take the Devils in this slight upset, honestly. The Hurricanes are going to fall short, flat on their face again. 7 games, Devils play the Capitals in the second round. If you look at the Western Conference here, Central Division 1 versus Western Conference 2 Vancouver Canucks. This is a fascinating matchup because, again, if the Canucks and Thatcher Demko can get healthy coming in the playoffs and Demko can do what we know he can do, Canucks could win here. But I think Connor Hellebuyck's going to look very similar to what we know he can do in the regular season. He's going to look like that guy. He's going to be huge. The defense is going to hold it together enough. Offense is going to be great. Special teams going to be great. They're just going to overall just be better than the Canucks. They're just a better team this season so far than the Canucks. I'm going to take them to win this series pretty easily in about like 6 games. Maybe even 5. But I think that Demko is going to be pretty good in the playoffs. So I'm going to take it 6 games just because of Demko and what I know this team can do. But I'm still going to take the Jets to win the series pretty handily in 6 games and move on to the second round to play the winner of the Avalanche and the Dallas Stars rematch of last year's second round matchup. The Avalanche made it to the second round and won 2 games in the second round with Alex Georgiev in net, and we know how good Mackenzie Blackwood's been good this season. Marty Necas makes the Avalanche by far the fastest team in the NHL if you look at the stats. They're so fast, they're so skilled, their power play is so much better with Marty Necas. They're 5-5 better with Marty Necas. Defense has been great, Blackwood's been phenomenal. They're on a heater. You never know what they can do. They've proven time and time again to be able to do it when it comes to the playoffs besides the 2023 year. They won the cup. They got eliminated in the first round by a wild card Kraken team. And then last year they made it to the second round, won 2 games in the second round with the top 2 contending Dallas Stars after beating the Winnipeg Jets in 5 games with Alex Georgiev in net. So, I mean, it seems really dangerous. But if you look at the Stars, I mean, they have great defense concerns, but it's been holding together really well for this season. Otto's been great. Offense has been great. Special teams, power play has been kind of concerning, but it's starting to heat up as of late. Penalty kill has been best in the league, literally. This team's really dangerous too. 2 very, very dangerous teams. It's going to go to 7 games. I think Colorado's going to get it done in Colorado in the game 7. Nathan McKinnon get them over the will, and they're going to go face the Winnipeg Jets, who they seem to have problems with when Hellebuck's in net. They seem to have problems with the Winnipeg Jets, but we'll break that down even more when it get to that point. The Oilers take on the Minnesota Wild. Oilers have home ice advantage versus the Wild Card 1 Minnesota Wild. Wild are one of, if not the best road teams in the entire NHL. If they get road, Oilers might sleep on them, but I don't think they will. I think McDavid and Draisaitl want it too much. Chuck Priestall can only do so much by himself. Gustafson's great. I think he's going to be great. I think their defense is going to be good, but I don't like their forward depth. I like the Oilers' offense a lot. I like their defense has been great. Suzuki has been a lot more consistent this season for the most part. And so, yeah, I'm going to take the Oilers to win the series pretty handily in about 5 games. I think they're all going to be very, very close games, but the Oilers are going to get most of them when it matters most. I think the Wild will be able to sneak one out in Edmonton sometime, but I just think it's going to go to 5. That's very long for Minnesota. The Pacific number 2 versus Pacific number 3 Kings. Kings do not seem to get over the Oilers. They don't have to face the Oilers, luckily for them, if it goes the exact way that I have it going right here. They're going to have to play the Knights, who are just as dangerous. They're probably going to find a way to load up around the trade deadline, somehow find a way to make LTIR work around that. Going to get stacked, one of the most dangerous teams in the NHL. The amount of low danger shots have fallen drastically. They will win from number 4 in most high danger shots against. So now they're like top 15. They've fallen down that rank so much, which is so good for them. Aiden Hill's still been phenomenal for them. Offense has been phenomenal. Special teams have been phenomenal. They're one of the most dangerous teams in the entire Western Conference. You never know what they can do. If you look over at the Kings right now, the Kings are also kind of slightly inconsistent. Darcy Kemper's good. He's won a cup, but the Avalanche team was so nasty when he won the cup. That was not because of him at all. But the defense is so great, especially with Drew Doughty so far. But when he comes back, the defense can be even more stacked. The offense has been pretty good this season. If they can get the defense to really click and shut down the Knights, you never know what they can do. But I'm going to take the Knights in 6 games just because they have way better offense and more star power. The Knights are going to move on in 6 games. So, like I said, we're going to start off the West when we go to the second round here. Here is the second round bracket. Second round bracket here. Here we go. In the West, we got the Central 1 Winnipeg Jets versus Central 2 Colorado Avalanche. A lot of people mind and be like, well, you think Hellebuck's going to do good in the playoffs. You've already mentioned that Hellebuck's been phenomenal against the Avalanche, and the Avalanche has had clear problems with the Winnipeg Jets this season and just in the past couple seasons when Hellebuck's in net in general. But it's not a good matchup for Winnipeg in the playoffs. They proved that last year. When they matched up in the playoffs, the Avalanche really took them down. That's what Georgiev in net. Yeah, I understand that Hellebuck didn't play its best, but the defense played bad, and the Avalanche was just outmatched them in a lot of different categories. And the Avalanche is so speedy and so skilled, it's going to be tough for that Winnipeg defense because I know they've shown clear flaws in that Winnipeg defense, especially 5-5. The Avalanche are so speedy and skilled, especially with the acquisition of Martin Necas. They're going to run laps around the Winnipeg Jets defense. I think only Hellebuck can only do so much, and Blackwood's been phenomenal for them. And the Winnipeg Jets are going to sleep on them. And they're going to take them down. Nathan MacKinnon's going to do it again. Give me the Avalanche in 7 games and move on. They're going to take down the Jets again. That's going to be Jets kryptonite come playoff time. Avalanche and Nathan MacKinnon going back to the Western Conference Finals. I'm telling you now, it's going to happen. If you look at the Pacific 1, there's Pacific 2 Vegas Gold. Nice Pacific Division rivals. Huge clash in the second round. Rematch of 2023, second round matchup. The Avalanche, the Oilers power play has been great. The offense has been phenomenal. The defense has been great. Suitskin has been great, way more than he's been bad. Penalty kill has been great. If you look at the Knights, special team has been great. Offense has been great. The high danger shots have gone down so much. It's gonna be huge for them. Goaltending has been great. I think I'm going to go with Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl to get it done. I know they lost to the Knights 2 years ago, but I think this Oilers team is just different this year. They want it so much. I think the McDavid and Draisaitl, Hyman and Bouchard and Nugent Hopkins, all those guys are going to get it done over the Knights in 7 games. They're going on to play the Avalanche in the Western Conference Finals. Look at the Eastern Conference here. We got the Leafs and the Panthers. Oh my goodness. Panthers seem to be able to take down the Leafs every time. The Leafs were super confident in the 2023 playoff series. Got their second wild card for the Panthers, and they got beaten 5 games. You cannot get too cocky. I think they've learned this lesson. Do not sleep on the Panthers, but the Panthers cannot sleep on the Leafs. The offenses are very, very good. Defenses are very good, and goaltenders are very, very good. Special teams are very, very good too. It's very, very interesting, and the depth is very questionable for the Leafs. I 100% agree with that. But the defensive depth for the Panthers is slightly concerning on paper. That's for sure. It's really interesting, this series. I'm going to take it to go to 7 games. Before I say this, if the Panthers win this series, I wouldn't be surprised. I'd actually think that makes a lot of sense. But I'm going to go with, honestly, the upset. I'm going to take the Leafs in 7 games. They're definitely the underdogs because the Panthers have way more experience in them, and the Leafs known to choke in the playoffs. But give me the Leafs in 7 games. They're going to get it done in Game 7 this time. They're going to the conference finals to play the winner of the Washington Capitals, the President's Trophy winner, the President's Trophy curse that's still looming around them, the Metropolitan 3 New Jersey Devils. By this point, hopefully Markstrom's still healthy and closer to 100%, if not fully there. A lot of people's minds can go straight to the Devils. A lot of people think the Washington Capitals are frauds. The Devils' offense has been pretty inconsistent, but if they can get hot coming in the playoffs, it's one of the best in the league. Defense has been great. Markstrom's known to be able to do good in the playoffs. But if you look at the Capitals, Logan Thompson has been phenomenal in the playoffs the past few years when he's been able to play. Defense is top 5 in the league at bare minimum. It has been definitely this season, but it is on paper too, for sure. Arguably top 3. And the offense has been one of, if not the best in the entire NHL this season. Is going to die down a little bit? Probably, but you don't know that. They have the star power, in my opinion, of Ovechkin, Dylan Strome. Purely, the ball has been great. The power play has been great. The penalty kill has been great. The Devils' inconsistency this season has been a bit of a problem. The Capitals have been by far and away the most consistent team out of the East this season. And it's going to be a tough matchup for the Devils. If they can't get the offense to go on that strong Capitals defense and goaltending, is going to be tough for a series to go around because they're known to be a high-flying team. But the Capitals are built to also kind of slow down that kind of team. And I'm going to take the this is a bit of an, I don't know if this is an upset, but I think it might be. Capitals going to the Eastern Conference Finals, taking down the Devils in 7 games. The Devils are definitely going to get their going to get their number a couple times this series. It's going to be very evenly tight matchup, evenly contested and tight matchup. But I'm going to take the Capitals, go to the Eastern Cup Finals. I know a lot of people won't like that, but I don't care. That's what I'm saying. I don't understand the Capitals hate, in my opinion. But the Conference Finals. I'm going to start off the East this time because we started with the West last time. So yeah, the Eastern Conference Finals. It is the number 1 in the Atlantic, Toronto Maple Leafs, which is the President's Trophy winner, number 1 in the Metro, Washington Capitals. It's the best out of the best out of the East. They've been back and forth when they played so far this season. Been great matchups. This is going to be a great matchup nonetheless. The President's Trophy curse is still all around them. It's still there. It's still looming there. It's there. Like, that's going to be over there. That's going to be in their heads the whole series. It's that President Trophy curse is going to be in their heads circling around. But the Leafs have their own pressure on them because if they get eliminated by the Capitals here, they're still going to be bombarded with, oh, they can't get it done in the playoffs. Especially the big four in Tavares, Nylander, Matthews, and Marner. It's a lot of pressure on both of these teams. I wouldn't say a lot of pressure on the Capitals because, I mean, they expected for a lot of people to miss the playoffs, let alone make the Eastern Conference Finals. Their fans are happy. But that President's Trophy curse is going to go around in their head. But if you look at the Leafs, they have a lot of pressure from on themselves, from the coach, maybe not the coach, but maybe the GM, owner, fans, and the NHL in general. They have a lot of pressure on them. They have to get it done here. They have a lot more expectations. The Capitals are just happy to be here. Of course, Ovechkin and them want to go to the Stanley Cup Final, but they're more or less just happy to be here. The Leafs need to win their series. I think with that being said, they're going to get it done. The Leafs to the Stanley Cup Final. The Leafs are going to win this series in about, let's say, 7 games. They're going to get back-to-back Game 7 wins. Because it's going to be tight wins. It's going to be tight wins. But they're going to get it done to go to the Stanley Cup Final. They're going to represent the East. And they're gonna be good representation of how the East can be in that series. But here we go. We got the Colorado Avalanche versus the Edmonton Oilers. The last time the series happened was the Western Conference Finals. It was the 2022 season when the Avalanche swept them. 2 completely different teams from that situation. Though, if you look at the Oilers, you got McDavid, Draisaitl, Hyman. They all want it. They want it so bad. The offense has been honestly not. They have less goals for than the Avalanche this season, but they have significantly less goals against in the Avalanche this season. Just because how bad the Avalanche started out with Georgiev on them. So yeah, I don't know. Oilers always find a way to turn on a switch. Come playoff time, I don't like Stuart Skinner's inconsistencies, but you can say the same with Mackenzie Blackwood just because we don't know how he's going to do come playoff time. Both are very speedy teams, but the Avalanche are more speedy. Like, they're faster by stats-wise. But the Oilers are so good. Special teams are so good. Do I do it? Do I do it? Do I do it? I already did that. I already made my like an hour or 2 ago. Give me the upset. Give me Nathan McKinnon and the Avalanche to get it done in 7 games. Hear me out, right? The obvious pick is like, oh, why are the Avalanche even here? Like, they have shown nothing to do that. They're in a wild card spot as of right now. Look at the Oilers, who've been number 1 in the Pacific, or at least around that range since after the first 10 games of the season when it was after a bad start. They went to Game 7 in the Stanley Cup Final last year. That's the obvious pick, right? That's not what I'm doing here. I'm going with the Avalanche. They would have less goals against if they didn't start out to such a bad start. They had more goals for than the Oilers. They've known to get it done in the playoffs. They've known Nathan McKinnon to pull in another split. But so are the Oilers. I'm telling you, if the Oilers make the Stanley Cup Final, that would be honestly less shocking to me than if the Avalanche actually won. I'm saying that now. Like, if the Oilers win, I'd be like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. But the Avalanche win, I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm actually right. You know, kind of thing. Like, it's definitely, like, I'd be like, wow, I'm right. But I'd also be like, wow, I'm right. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like kind of thing. But, like, Avalanche Leafs, McKinnon and Matthews, Stanley Cup Final. here we go. We got the Leafs. They have all the pressure on the world on their shoulders, especially like Matthews and them. In the Stanley Cup final, they have home ice advantage. Oh my goodness, Scotia Baker Arena will be on fire. You got the big four. Did it when they matters most. They got here to this point. They play McKinnon and Nietzsche and the Avalanche on the other side, who are no slouches themselves. If you look at the Leafs here, the forward depth definitely left some to be desired, for sure. But it definitely does. But the defense has been great. Stolarz and Joseph Woll, and they're both fully healthy, specifically Stolarz, have been phenomenal. Joseph Woll has been great, but I said that because Stolarz has been the only one that's really been hurt for a while. But it's, if you look at the Avalanche, they're so fast. They're by far not by far, but quite significant amount the fastest team in the NHL. Some of the skill in the NHL. Power play is one of the best in the league since they added Monty Nietzsche. He's been phenomenal. Penalty kill has been phenomenal. Mackenzie Blackwood's been great. It's going to be tough for both of these teams to get it done, right? I just don't like the Leafs for that. But you can say the same for the Avalanche, right? But they've added Jack Doherty, who adds more center depth, which is the biggest concern. If Casey Middlestat can get going too, the second line center, they could win this thing very well. But you can say the same for the Leafs. If their forward depth gets on fire, and the full core in general, especially the depth can get on a heater at this point. The defense can stay consistent. Both the goalies are great. They could very well win this series. It's really just a matter of who gets hotter at this point. But they're both in the Stanley Cup final. They both won the conference finals. They made it past 3 rounds, so they're both red hot. To be fair, I mean that's always how it really is. So like, I think that I am honestly. This is also an upset. But why not? Why not the Avalanche? Why not the Avalanche? Right? Why not? They're by far the fastest team in the NHL. They're one of the most skilled in the NHL. The power play is one of the best in the NHL since adding Martin Nietzsche. They have the most zone entries in the NHL, one of them, since adding Martin Nietzsche. They have one of the best defenses in the NHL when they click. Mackenzie Blackwood's been phenomenal. He has the size. He has the agility. He's been covering up his 5-hole a lot better, which has been a problem for a lot of years. Why not? Honestly. Is that a hot take? You know. It's a hot take. I know. First of all, the Capitals getting the Eastern Conference Finals is a hot take in itself. The Leafs beating the Panthers in the second round, and then going on to make it to the Stanley Cup final, and then obviously the Avalanche beating the Stars in the first round is an upset in itself. Them beating the Jets in the second round is a huge upset, and then them beating the Oilers in the Western Conference Finals is a huge upset, and then them beating the Leafs in the Stanley Cup Finals also a huge upset. That's 4 back-to-back playoff upsets for the Avalanche. That's my hot take. There's 3 huge hot takes: the Leafs beating the Panthers and making the making the Stanley Cup final. That's a hot take in itself. The Leafs doing really good. The Capitals making the Eastern Conference final. For a lot of people had them being frauds, and then the Avalanche doing all of those upsets, winning the Stanley Cup final. Yeah, that's gonna do it for today's podcast episode. I hope you enjoyed today's podcast episode. Have a great free night. Watch us live. Watch us after 11 night. Good morning, evening, afternoon, whatever time you're watching us. Subscribe to the show if you haven't already. Follow this podcast if you haven't already on Spotify. Like this video if you haven't already. Turn post notification channel if you haven't already. And hope you enjoy today's last NHL playoff prediction to the actual playoff start. An NHL Monday in episode 7 of season 9. I'll see you guys tomorrow for episode 8, season 9. Peace.